All right. Welcome back, friends.
Hola.
To what's probably going to be the spookiest episode of the season.
Because it's spooky season.
It is spooky season. It's not my favorite season, but it's a season.
It's a season. I love it.
It's your favorite season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
I saw a TikTok this morning that said if her favorite season is Halloween, don't even bother dating her. I found that quite rude.
you don't date anyone anyway.
This is true.
So,
I get bored.
what's the ish?
That's the thing.
It's okay.
Fine.
You can date me.
I can date you. You don't even like Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm good to date.
You're like, do you get it?
Like, that's the point. So how's spooky season going for you so far?
Very good. I love it. That sounded sarcastic.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to be. We figured out my pitbull wig.
Yeah, and we don't even need to buy a bald cap.
It's amazing.
Because Annie's being Pitbull for Halloween. And instead of getting a bald cap... Oh, she's being so cute right now.
Oh.
She's never like this. But Annie, instead of getting a bald cap, I ordered like... I think only 2 wigs.
2 weeks?
But I didn't know if they would come with like caps that you wear like under a wig to hold all your hair in. So I ordered like a pack of like 10 caps because I was like, might as well have extras, just in case. So Annie's gonna double up on those, and wear those.
I'm very excited
for her Pitbull costume.
It looked great already.
Yeah, I'm hyped to see it all put together.
Same. Also with the facial hair and the sunglasses, I think it's gonna make it.
I think it's really gonna make it. I'm so excited.
I might get like a fabric pen or something like to write on my face, like a washable marker.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste my eyebrow pencil.
Yeah. Also, you don't want to like put a permanent marker.
Oh no, I won't be doing that.
Imagine.
Okay.
You should go to work like that.
They want me to go to work as Pitbull.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
It would Pitbull in garage.
Yeah. Pitbull visits the Eaton Center.
For one night only. I could do some like songs. Kesha could come in.
Yeah, I could make a debut.
You know, the water fountain in the Eaton Center.
Yeah, we could do like a whole performance there.
Yeah, because it's closed right now, so we can stand on top of it.
Why is it closed right now?
Because of COVID.
What does it have to do with COVID?
Apparently with the water, like people like touching it and stuff because it circulates.
But why don't you just put a sign, don't fucking touch the fountain?
Well, people can't follow instructions here.
Clearly.
Because we can't have nice
Can
things.
they follow instructions anywhere, really?
No.
No, like there's always those people who go against the sign.
Because they...
Good thing that was closed.
I know. It's fizzing. Because they just want to be different.
But it's not being different, it's just being...
a douchebag.
Yeah. Unless they, like, didn't see the sign or something, but, like...
Did I tell you I almost got in a fight with an old lady?
Today?
No, the other day.
What happened?
She was, like, 70, so boomer, Karen. Well, what's above a Karen? Sue?
Like, worse than a Karen? Yeah. Or just, like, a boomer version of Karen? A boomer
version of Karen.
Because Karen's a millennial. Right?
Carol?
Yeah, maybe Carol. Yeah,
well, she was a Carol. And I was taking stuff to go onto the floor. And I brought my full rack out. And she starts going through my rack. And I give her a warning. I'm like, sorry, ma'am. I'm just putting these on the floor right now because a lot of this stuff is new. So I have to find a place for it. She's like, I don't care. I'm like, okay. And then I just decided to ignore it. But then she was dropping the stuff on the floor.
The stuff that you had just brought out?
That I just brought out and that was hung nicely. She was like throwing it around on the cart so then it would fall on the floor and she didn't pick it up. So I'm like, okay, now I have a problem with you. So then I went up to her. I'm like, if you continue to do that and disrespect my rack, I'm going to get my manager to throw you out. And she's like, well, you don't have to be all hasty about it. I'm like, well, then don't fuck up my rack.
Literally, okay, so when I go into garage and I'm like shopping around as I do, because I always try on like 50 fucking things every time I go in there now.
Yeah.
Literally, if I see something I like, I will put down everything else I'm holding to gently remove the things on top, to get the size I need, to gently put the things back on.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why nobody else can do that.
It's not hard. People just get lazy.
Yeah, and it's just...
It's annoying. She really irked me. Like, it was really
I mean, I'm
uncalled for.
happy you spoke up for yourself.
I'm glad I did too, because usually I wouldn't have, but retail has made me a monster.
Retail turns everybody into a monster.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You have that side of you now that's worked in retail.
Yeah. It's because...
Or, like, customer service.
Like, you just really see some dumb people.
Yeah, you have to deal with, like, shitheads on a daily, pretty much.
Yeah, like, really rude, like, no manners. Like, I have customers come up to me and be like, get me this. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'm trying to, like... At Timmy's, I don't think a day went by that I didn't have at least one bad customer.
Yeah, same.
So...
There's always, like, one bad person out there. It's just a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
I have lovely girls come in. Like, a lot of people come in and compliment my tattoos, which I love. Super sweet. But, like, some boomers come in and they're just fucking rude. Because they're shopping with their daughters, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Or millennials.
I really wanted to fight that woman. I didn't.
I was going to say, why didn't you?
I fought her with respect, I think.
Yeah, you handled it with care.
I did the Uno reverse card. I was going to get my manager on her.
True. You pulled out the manager card before she could.
Yeah. My manager wouldn't be having that shit.
No.
She would have kicked her out.
Yeah. Which rightly so.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna...
Respect me in my rack.
Yeah, then...
Here's some ASMR. Well, wasn't that good.
We'll see what it's like when I listen back and whether I need to cut it or not. That's definitely not. We don't really have the mics for ASMR. Please don't. I have to listen back to all of this.
What did you send me?
Oh, a spooky sweater.
Oh, it's from the same company that you got your thing from, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I need it.
Then get it.
I can't.
Why?
I'm trying to be smart with my money.
I mean, you can still be smart with your money and buy the sweater.
Don't convince me, because I will get it.
I think you should. How cute would that be for just, like, hanging out in Niagara?
I know.
The Witcher's out December 17th.
I'm very excited.
I'm hyped.
You comes out next week.
That one I'm, like, semi-excited about.
The Witcher I'm very excited for.
Yeah. And Attack on Titan.
Oh, God,
So that doesn't come till January. So we still have a few months to go. But, I mean, we waited this long, so...
I'm so hyped for that.
Yeah, my hype for you has kind of died. The second season wasn't as good.
I rewatched it, and I actually did like it.
I just don't love it. I loved the first season.
Yeah, same.
So...
That's why I hope the second one, or the third season's going to be good.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what direction they take it in, so I'll definitely watch it.
I think it's going to be interesting because he's got a kid now and a wife, and he's obsessed with the neighbor.
He's obsessed with the neighbor.
The neighbor he has a new obsession for. Like, that's what it is in the trailer.
Oh.
He's peering through her.
Yeah, I don't watch trailers.
It looks good.
Yeah, I don't watch trailers because I don't like spoilers.
Oh.
And I feel like trailers give...
A lot away. Thankfully, this one didn't. It just tells you that the neighbor's like the
new obsession.
Yeah.
He has a thing with obsessions.
He is a sociopath, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
or a
I think so. One of them.
He's one of the paths.
Yeah.
I need you all around.
All right, well, should we get into it?
Yeah.
So, today we decided to scour the web.
The dark web.
for literally the dark web for some spooky stories for you guys. Don't know why I started talking like a valley girl there, but
Swing stories.
um
It's very Kourtney Kardashian.
yeah.
Yeah, Kim.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off. This is from r/spooky stories. And the title is just spooky story I have. Well, also, I'm pretty sure the ones that I chose are like less spooky than the ones Annie chose. So we're going to go back and forth, but, this might be a little bit of a roller coaster for some of them. So when I was in 8th grade, I had a weird dream about a thin, fully black creature with no hands or feet, just spikes. It did have eyes and a mouth and 3 long black spikes for hair. Its eyes were big and glowing white. Its mouth was just really messed up, squarish teeth. The creature was stalking me through my neighborhood, and at some point I noticed it and began lucid dreaming. I controlled my actions and surroundings in my dream. That's what lucid dreaming is. But I couldn't control the creature. I just went along my dream doing the typical flying around, but it would just follow wherever I went. At some point, I landed at my front door, went inside my house, and locked it. I then turned around, and it was in my house, just staring at me, but it was very close to me. I blinked, and all of a sudden, without grabbing me, it locked me in place, and I heard a high-pitched screech as it looked into my eyes. I couldn't move. Out of panic, I woke up, but didn't open my eyes. I noticed my foot was off the side of the bed, and it was freezing. I didn't have a fan in my room, and it was the middle of July. I pulled my foot back under the covers and got the courage to open my eyes. When I did, however, it was standing in the corner of my room just staring at me. I sat up in bed and rubbed my eyes because I thought I was still dreaming. I wasn't. After about 3 minutes or so, it moved to my door and just stared at me more. I could tell it wanted me to follow it, but I didn't. Then it just went through my door and it was gone. And before anyone asked, it was a brand new built house with no previous occupants. No, I don't have schizophrenia, and no, I wasn't in the middle of sleep paralysis because I could move and talk. There is a part 2, but I wanted to know what you guys thought before I went into more detail.
Ew.
She's had a similar experience with the same character that she described.
That's
So
actually really creepy.
So she started having dreams about this thing first.
Yeah.
And then she had the experience where she woke up and her foot was really cold. And then she opened her eyes and it was in the room.
Ew.
Yeah. And then when she like tried to think like, oh, is she just seeing things?
Yeah.
It was still there when she opened her eyes again. And it moved around her room. I guess like she would have just gotten like the feeling that it wanted her to follow because it didn't say anything, she said.
Yeah, she just probably assumed.
Yeah. Can you lucid dream?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't.
Really? So
Not
like
at
when
all.
you dream, you can't control what you dream.
No. Can't control what I dream, can't control what I do, nothing.
See, I thought everyone was able to control their dreams. So
Yeah,
I was
no.
I think I had a conversation with Britt maybe. I can't remember who it was. But they were like, I can't fucking do that. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do that? Like, you can't open a door or, like, scream or, like, say specific things.
Like,
in a
I
dream.
do things in it, but I don't choose.
You don't, yeah.
They just
I
happen.
can. I've also, like, had astral projection a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Where you leave your body and you watch yourself sleep.
Haven't had that either.
I've been doing that since I was, like, 7.
No.
I have really weird dreams, which I've mentioned before.
I have really strange dreams too, but I don't get to decide what. Like, I had this dream one time. I think I've told you about this.
Probably.
I had this dream one time where I was locked in a cell, like an underground cell, with my mom, who I don't have a relationship with. And then in the next cell over was Jesus. And then some guard came and took my mom and I out of the cell and took Jesus out of his cell.
Yeah.
And we're talking Jesus in like white robes and the thorn crown.
Oh, bleeding. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there was like blood dripping down his face from, not a lot, like just like little droplets of like sweat and blood. And he looked kind of dirty. And then like the white robe that he wears like before he's going to be crucified, Jesus. So I just assumed that's what was happening. And then my mom started like asking questions like, what's going on, like why are we here, why did you lock us up? And they told her to stop talking, and I was like trying to protect my mom, like, okay, like leave her alone, because they got like really aggressive with her. And then they just killed Jesus, like right there, like we're literally just outside the cells. And they just, like, slit his throat, like, right there. And I'm like, what the fuck? Jesus didn't even do anything. Like, Jesus is Jesus. Like, I love Jesus. Like, what are you doing? Like, I was, like, freaking out. They basically were like, if you don't shut up, we're going to do the same to your mom. So, yeah. So I shut up. Then they take me... Then they take us, like, out of the cell, and it, like, you know how in a movie where there's a cut and it jumps to a different area? That's exactly what happened in the dream. Like, I don't know how I got from point A to point B. I just know I moved. Oh. You can lay your head, just watch the mic. I just, like, I ended up in a different space. So I'm in the different space, and my mom is nowhere to be found. I have no idea where she is. But then they send me into like this pit. And it looks like a fighting pit. Like, you know, where like there would be like a pit where people would fight, and then people sit above you and like look down and watch you fight, right? So it's like a fighting pit, and there's like a cage door on the other side, and it's like a large area. And they just like let a tiger out. And the tiger starts chasing me, and I just, like, keep trying to get away from the tiger until it gets to the end of the dream, and I manage to re-trap the tiger in the cage. Not sure how that happened because I didn't want to kill the tiger. So I managed to re-trap it, and then I woke up.
So fucking weird.
It's such a weird... I have weird dreams like this all the time. Like, we could do a whole separate episode on all the fucking weird dreams I've had.
Yeah, I definitely have weird ass dreams, but like, that's random.
Literally, and I remember them. Like, most of my dreams I don't remember. Do you remember yours?
Yeah,
I don't usually remember them.
I pretty much remember all my dreams,
but I've had a few that have just been so weird that I do remember them.
I've literally had dreams before where I just dream of numbers.
Why?
My brain's weird.
Do you stress about money?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
That's what I think.
I wonder if that's like why.
Like, I see a lot of just consecutive numbers just like rolling along on like a, you know, like at stock, like the stock things where like,
I know what you're talking about.
It's like they like
the names change, and then whether they're going up or down, like the stocks or the stocks are staying the same.
Roll along. It's so weird, and that's the whole dream.
Nothing else happens. Like, are you looking at a board of numbers? No, or is it just the board?
None of my dreams are first person. It's always a third person point of view.
So you see yourself.
I see myself.
Oh, see, I'm pretty... am I?
I never... So say if, like...
I think I might be both.
I don't see the dream. Like, if I'm having a conversation with someone, like, I'm, like, a conversation between us, I'm, like, doing it from, like, a third point, like, above.
Okay,
or, like, in front.
I think I'm both. I think it depends on the dream.
But then if I'm, like, exploring by myself, if it's, like, a solo dream...
Yeah.
It's my own eyes.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Even for, like, say, like, sex dreams, it's also never my
point of view. It's above. It's above. Sex dreams for me, too, are above.
It's very weird how dreams work.
When you start liking somebody, do you have sex dreams about them?
Yes.
Same.
I feel like everyone does, though.
I feel like it's normal. People just don't talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
I mean, I don't really want to share with them, but...
No, I mean, like, normalize, like, talking about that.
Yeah, like, I feel like it's normal for, like, when you start to have a crush on somebody.
Even just, like, not even sexual. You just dream about them just to see how you feel about them, and then you go home and you dream about them.
Yeah.
And then if it works out in the dream, then you're like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe I can fuck with this person.
Yeah. Or like I found if I idolize somebody a lot, I start having sex dreams about them as well.
Harry Styles.
Mine have been real people that I've met in real life. Like if I like basically like because I went to music school, like there would be a lot of like business people or musicians or like anybody like within the music industry that would come in and speak, right? There was one time where I had a sex dream, and I had a boyfriend at the time, so I was like, why am I having a sex dream about this guy?
Yeah.
But it was a sex dream about this guy who came and spoke, and they performed and then did like a lecture about their part in the industry. And I had a sex dream about him after, and I was like, what the heck? But I was like, I don't want to date this guy. Like I barely met him. And then somebody was like, oh, that's normal if you like look up to that person and you admire like what they do.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, like, because I was like, I don't think I'm attracted to this guy at all, but I had a sex dream about him. But apparently it's really normal if you like idolize somebody or like you look up to them and what they do. Yeah. Then, so yeah.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah. Have you had sleep paralysis before?
Yeah.
I haven't had sleep
paralysis. I've actually had really
either.
Scary encounters with sleep paralysis.
I'm like really terrified of it based on what other people have said about it, but I've never experienced it myself.
I can share a story because like it goes with a theme.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because it's a quick one, and then I'll read one of the things. Mm-hmm. But it was when I think it was second year, I want to say, when I was staying in Mississauga. And I was living off campus in this basement. And before moving in, we also knew that it was apparently built on sacred ground. So it was native grounds, and it was like some sort of sacred ritual. I can't remember what the fuck she was saying. Yeah. It was basically a burial that they had built on top. So they had said that before they've experienced really spooky stuff. I deal with that kind of stuff. Like, I have scary dreams. I've had scary encounters in before, but, like, I've never experienced anything like I did in that house. Mm-hmm. So, I would get sleep paralysis a lot. Pretty much, like, every single week, I want to say. Uh-huh. But one night, I was really fucking tired, so I went to bed at, like, I want to say, like, 7:30.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I was also in school at this time.
True.
I was very tired. So, I was asleep. I was probably in bed for maybe, like, 2-3 hours. And then I woke up, and then I couldn't fucking move. Like, you can move your eyes, but you can't move your head. And I couldn't wiggle my toes, and I couldn't wiggle my fingers. So I'm like, I'm paralyzed.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, something's happened in my sleep where I've hit my neck a funny way.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I can't move. So I couldn't move for literally 20 minutes. And then all of a sudden, I feel pressure on both of my ankles, and the bedsheet flips off. Like the entire thing. Yeah. Flies off. Like as if it had been ripped from my ankles straight off to the other side of the room. So it was with force.
Oh my gosh.
And then literally all I hear is chanting. Yeah. Please, It was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
What did you do?
I went back to sleep after I woke up because like I thought I was really tired. I'm like, I was just so tired at the point where I'm like, that didn't happen. Oh There's no way that I'm like, that must have been the wind. Like I was just trying to like rationalize it. Yeah. Craziest thing that's ever happened to me though.
That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Like there would be no way in hell I could go back to sleep after that.
I did move out of that place shortly after though. Terrifying though.
Yeah, no, that's fucking horrifying. I don't think I could live there after that happened. That would be way too much for me.
Right?
Honestly, it takes very little to be too much for me when it comes to this.
Yeah, you don't like scary stuff.
No, I fucking hate it. And to be honest, I haven't had that many encounters with anything. To be honest, I don't really believe in it, but it's weird because like I don't believe in it, but if something slightly happens, I'm like, nah, fuck no, I'm done. Get me out of here. I'm not dealing with it. No. Like it's a hard pass for me.
See, shit has happened to me. That's why like I fully believe in it.
Yeah, even though like I've had situations where like I had my heater in my room. I used to have like a space heater in my room because my room would be like pretty cold most of the time. Just randomly turn off one time and then turn back on. And I was like, what the fuck? Got pretty freaked out about it for a while.
Yeah.
Then like everything pretty much that has happened to me has been rationalized.
Right.
So like when that happened, then like I had turned it off the next day when I went to school. It had turned back on its own. And then my grandma was like, you left the heater on. I was like, no, I didn't. I for sure turned it off. Turned out the cord was like fucked on it, so I kept turning on and off like whenever because the cord was fucked. Good thing we figured it out because it would have started a house fire probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that. So that was rationalized. So like that doesn't bother me anymore. Like, and then I had like another small situation where I fully heard footsteps like upstairs in my house, and like my house is pretty. Not my house anymore, but my old house with my grandma that I grew up in for like 10 years was really old, and I heard like footsteps upstairs and I was terrified. I was home alone. My grandma had taken my sister to rugby practice and I was like standing at the bottom of the stairs with a knife. I was terrified.
You're ready.
Because I thought it was either like something spooky or an intruder. So because we had windows up there too, and the one window led to the top of our garage, so it could have easily been somebody like breaking in. So I was like terrified. Was standing at the bottom of the stairs when my grandma walked back in. My grandma also, like, our school was like 10 minutes up the road at most, so she like took Bella to school, came right back. Like I had been home alone not that long. So I assumed that somebody had broken in when they thought nobody was home, right? Because the car had been gone, or something spooky. So I said to my grandma, like, there's somebody upstairs, because I fully heard steps go from my sister's room into the bathroom and heard the bathroom door close. So I was terrified, and I yelled up the stairs like, hello, to because that can like deter somebody, like, and cause them to leave then if it is somebody breaking in. Heard nothing after that. So then my grandma walks in and I'm standing there with a fucking knife and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I swear on my life there's somebody upstairs. Like I was like, I 100%. She went up, couldn't find anything. So I was like terrified. After this, my grandma like made a joke, like, because we had like my grandpa's ashes still in the house, so she was like, oh, it's grandpa him. Like he's just walking around going for a stroll, like whatever. Still terrified. Then about a week later, my grandma finds a boy in my sister's room who had been staying secretly in my sister's room for like a good while at that point. And it was him. So when she took Bella to rugby practice that morning, he had gone to the bathroom upstairs, but him thinking nobody was home, but I was home. So I heard him go to the bathroom. So I'm not crazy. Like, I definitely heard somebody go to the bathroom. And it was him. And then we found out that... And my sister fully let me believe that, like, our house was haunted for, like, a good few weeks before we found out.
That's kind of funny, though.
Yeah. So she was fully in on keeping this a secret. So yeah. So now... And again, explained. So most of the encounters I've had one other encounter that wasn't explained. But all of my encounters pretty much have been explained.
Yeah.
So I don't really believe in anything, but like when people talk about situations, it still freaks me out.
Yeah.
Like I don't really believe that it's a thing, but it freaks me out.
Right.
So
Also, you're probably not gonna believe it unless it happens to you anyway.
probably not. And knock on wood, I hope it never fucking happens to me because I don't know if I would get over it.
Yeah, I've had really scary stuff happen, and like I'm not fucking crazy,
Yeah.
so
It
Yeah.
makes sense to me. Oh, there's something in my eye.
But yeah. So anyway, you want to go ahead with your next story?
yes.
I can't remember if we've said this one before because I feel like we talked about this. My dead girlfriend keeps messaging me on Facebook.
I haven't heard this before, I don't think.
Maybe I said this with someone else. Okay, so the title is My Dead Girlfriend Keeps Messaging Me on Facebook. I've got the screenshots. He's got receipts. He's like, I don't know what to do.
See, anything that happens with social media... No, I'll let you do your story first.
But no, I agree. You're going to say that like anyone could just hack
Literally
the account.
anybody could be in there just fucking
I know.
messaging him.
So Emily's the dead girl and the guy is named Nathan. So
Okay.
I'll read out their conversation.
Okay.
Emily says hello. He goes, who is this? It's really weird receiving messages from Emily's account. Question mark. Okay, well, in the future, please send me messages from your account even if you want to discuss her page. I'm assuming like maybe like a remembrance page.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. And she says hello again. And then Nathan just goes, Susan, are you on Emily's account? Don't know who Susan is.
Maybe her mom or something?
Maybe.
So he goes, tonight's kind of a catalyst for this post. I just received another message and it's worse than any of the others. My girlfriend died on the 7th of August 2012. She was involved in a 3-car collision driving home from work when someone ran a red light. She passed away within minutes on the scene. That sucks.
That's hard.
I'm like, that sucks.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
That poor guy.
We had been dating for 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
She wasn't big on the idea of marriage. She said gave her a weird vibe. Same girl.
That's funny.
But if she had been, I would have married her within 3 months of our relationship. Oh,
That's so cute.
she was vibrant, the kind of girl that would choose dare every time. She was happiest when camping. Ew. But a total technophile too. She always smelled like cinnamon. That being said, she wasn't perfect. She always said something along the lines of, if I cark it first, don't just say good things about me. I've never liked that. If you don't pay me out...
Oh, like if she dies first?
Oh.
Don't just say good things about her.
I gotcha. So this is for M. The music she said she liked and the music she actually liked were very different. Her idea of affection was a side hug. She had really long toes.
Is this you?
I think I'm Emily. I don't have long toes like a chimpanzee though. I don't feel right discussing her without you having an idea of what she was like. On to the meat. M had been dead for approaching 13 months when she first messaged me. So I think he's put out dates. I'm just trying to get comfy.
Yeah.
I don't wanna. You can hear like background noise. Okay, where'd it go? September 4th, 2013. This is when it began. I had left Emily's Facebook account activated so I could send her the occasional message, post on her wall, go through her website. After a little confusion, I assumed it was her. That was weird. That didn't make sense.
Yeah. So he left it activated so that he could go through it when he wanted to?
Yeah.
Like as a memory thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume so.
And then I'm assuming he's saying then after a few months when he started receiving the messages, he realized that it was her messaging.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And then he says, November 16th, 2013, I had received confirmation from Susan that she hadn't logged into M's Facebook since the week of her death. Emily knew a lot of people, so I instantly assumed this was one of her more tech-savvy friends fucking with me in the worst possible way. That's not a friend.
No.
I noticed pretty much immediately that whoever was chatting with me was recycling old messages from mine and Emily's shared chat history. The wheels on the bus comment was from what we were discussing songs to play on a road trip that never eventually happened. Around February 2014, this is going on for a while.
Yeah, this is like, well, September 2013 to February 2014 wouldn't be that far.
That's true.
October, November, December, January, like 5 months. I mean, still like almost half a year.
Yeah. Emily started tagging herself in my photos. I would get notifications for them, but the tag would generally always be removed by the time I got to it. The first time I actually caught one, it felt like someone had punched me in the gut. She would tag herself in spaces where it was plausible for her to be, or where she would usually hang out. I've got screenshots of 2. He included the screenshots, but I can't see them. Around this period of time, I stopped being able to sleep. I was too angry to sleep. She would tag herself in random photos every couple... Sorry, I don't know where it cut off. Every couple what? Every couple from their Facebook friends list. At this point, some of you may be wondering why I didn't just kill my Facebook profile. I wish I had. I did for a little while on days when I can't get out there, though. It's nice having my friends available to chat. It's nice visiting Emily's page when the little green circle isn't next to her name. I was already socially reclusive when Emily was alive. Like, this is just depressing.
Yeah.
Her death turned me into something pretty close to a hermit, and Facebook and MMOs were my only real social outlets. What's MMO?
Probably like some kind of private messaging.
Yeah. On March 15th, I sent what I assumed was Emily's hacker a message. And then he received an answer. It wasn't until I was going over these logs a few months later that I noticed she was recycling my own words as well. My response seems kind of lackluster here. I was intentionally providing her with emotional bait to keep them interested in the game. I was working off the assumption that the kind of person to do this would be the kind of person that would thrive on the distress of others. I was posting in tech forums, looking for ways to track this person, contacting Facebook. I needed to keep them around so I could gather evidence. Before anyone asked, yes, I had changed the password and all security info countless times.
To her account.
To her account, yeah. It just still seems like kind of weird, though.
It could still, I don't know, I still feel like it's still easy for somebody who's close to her to have all that information.
Yeah.
And to get all that information. Because if he changed the password multiple times, it's still her email. As long as they have her email, they can access that.
That's the thing.
Also, if there's got to be, like, it's not like he may have turned into a hermit, but he has to have some people that are close to him. And if they're close to him and close to her, it's probably pretty fucking easy to get into that account. Yeah.
So I'm not sure why. Like, I would just assume it's one of her friends fucking with her. With him.
Yeah.
Facebook had told me that the locations on her page had been accessed from, but since her death, they're all places I can account for. My home, my work, her mom's house. My response here wasn't bait. My reaction in real life was much less prettier. I'm not expecting my bond back. The story doesn't make much sense.
It just seems like very all over the place.
Yeah. Freezing is the first original word she made. This has given me nightmares that only started to kick in recently. So apparently she sent a message that just said freezing.
That's creepy.
I keep dreaming that she's in an ice cold car, frozen blue and gray, and I'm standing outside in the warmth, screaming at her to open the door. She doesn't even realize I'm there. 24th of May, I wasn't actually drunk. She wasn't an affectionate girl, and it always embarrassed her to exchange I love yous, cuddle, talk about how much we meant to each other. Her reply is what prompted me to finally memorize her page, thinking it might curb this behavior. Honestly, the story is kind of boring.
I'm, like, intrigued, but, like...
I'm intrigued, but he just keeps going on to saying, like, just, like, repeated chats.
I want to know, like, what she said.
Yeah, that's the thing. He didn't even include...
Like, she sent a message saying freezing.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming from what he last said, she sent a message saying, like, I love you or something affectionate. But she's not like that.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So then that makes you assume that...
It makes me think even more that it's not her then. Social media, anything through social media is super iffy to me.
Same.
Because it's super up in the air on like anybody could access that account at any time.
And like maybe even her mom did have access to it and was sending those messages because maybe she thought that she was helping him.
Maybe. I don't know why you'd send a message saying freezing if you're trying to help somebody, but
yeah, I don't know about that one.
Like, I don't know. It just seems like he doesn't have enough information to rule out that it's not her. And I feel like somebody who's going through grief might not be able to mentally be like, oh yeah, no, it's definitely not her. Like, somebody's fucking with me.
Yeah.
So.
It definitely seems like that. That's just weird.
Like, what is the evidence that he has to say that it's her?
He didn't really have much evidence.
So then, other than that, he's changed the password and everything multiple times. And it's just stayed the same.
Because then that's what makes me think that it's someone fake.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That wasn't a great one.
I mean, still kind of freaky. If it was her.
If it was her.
I mean, even if it wasn't, that's still kind of freaky that, like, somebody can access her account and message from a dead person's account.
Yeah, it is creepy.
Like, it'd be creepy. Like, if Judah died tomorrow and somebody started messaging me from his account. Also, he said, like, oh, she's pulling words from other conversations. That doesn't say it's her at all. They could literally just be reading your old conversations.
Yeah, or bots can do that.
If they have access to everything already and to her account, they probably have access to other things as well.
Yeah, I don't think that's a ghost.
I don't think so. Yeah, but like if Judah died tomorrow and I started getting messages from his account, I'd be freaked out.
Yeah, it'd be creepy. For
like,
sure.
I'd be like, what the fuck? And I'd be like, whoever is doing this, you need to fucking stop.
Because this is cruel.
Yeah, I would be really distraught if I were him. So.
Yeah, the poor guy.
Yeah.
Also, if he's saying that he loved her that much, 5 years together.
Yeah, that's a long time to be with somebody.
That's a very long time.
Damn. Well. Hopefully it stopped now.
Hopefully. He posted that story 7 years ago.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess he was giving updates while it was happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Damn.
Because it was 2012.
That she died? Yeah.
Yeah.
And 13 months. So almost a year after she died, he started receiving messages. That's also a long time after.
I know.
What if it was just him the whole time? He's just like losing it.
He didn't realize?
He's just losing it and he's like has a second identity that's messaging.
It's kind of like the split thing.
Yeah. Because he has access to her account.
He does.
Maybe he made the whole thing up.
Maybe he's a liar.
Not saying you are, but...
Grief makes you do some stupid things.
Grief does make you do some stupid things. Oh, one sec. I gotta replug my laptop in. But, like, if he was that lonely, maybe he came up with this story to put on Reddit so that people would...
See, he just wants some compassion.
All right. Ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
This is just called Encounter with My Dog.
Oh.
Growing up, we had a couple of dogs. My mother had taken in puppies and trained them to be companions for folks with disabilities. We had dogs of our own as well. My dog was a chocolate lab named Godiva?
Oh, Godiva.
Godiva. Sorry, I can't read. Who was sweet and dumb, so honestly the best pet for a kid to grow up with. The other of our dogs was named Bella, and she hated me. She was a gangly border collie who had been adopted by my dad for my older sister to have as a pet to learn responsibility. She had previously been living on a farm in Pennsylvania, learning to be a herding dog. She wasn't too good at it, so she was to be adopted or put down. My dad drove hours to get her, and she became a part of our family. Bella's my sister's name. Bella grew up to have a bizarre temperament. She fell in love with my mother, who was indifferent to most and absolutely hated me. Oh, she fell in love with my brother. My mother was indifferent to most and then absolutely hated the dog. Not his mother.
Literally the mother.
Not his mother. The dog. She would lay at my mother's feet at night and guard the door during the day if my mother was home alone. She never really bothered with my sisters or father. However, when we were alone together, she was horrible. She would growl at me from across the room, even if I wasn't looking at her. She would bite at my ankles when I ate at our kitchen table, to the point that I refused to eat meals not directly next to my mother. So anytime he was around the mother, obviously.
My God.
If I was at home alone, I would stay in my room until someone came home. Safety in numbers, he says, with the dog. So that's how much this dog
hates him.
Yeah. After a while, I got really scared of her. Looking back at the situation now, I feel my fear is justified. I was a docile child. I never hurt anything, never sought to stir up trouble. Overall, was relaxed and friendly. My mom had raised me to be kind to all living things and to treat everything with all the respect I could afford. Even when I was angry, I tried to step back and walk off until I can come back calmer. My point is, I'm not the type to try to taunt a dog. I tried, by all accounts, to avoid her as best as I could. Godiva died when I was about 11. She had always made me feel safe, and I had begun to rely on her for comfort as my dad passed away. In the months after she died, I was very upset. Bella began to warm up to me. She would sleep in my room under my bunk bed, and while awake, I was happy, and she let me pet her and play with her as if she was a puppy. However, I started to have nightmares. Sometimes she would chase me, snarling. Once I had a dream she started to eat me alive. Truly some dark shit for a 12-year-old. I withdrew from her after that. She got older, and one winter she died. She had been 17 years old by then. You would think that my fear of her would be gone then. Evidently not. When I was home alone, when I would be alone at home, I would see her and get this deep sense of uneasiness. I don't know if I would consider it a ghost. She would just be there. I could hear her growling at night, and once went a few days without sleep because I was scared she would find a way to get at me. This was so jarring because I had never been an irrational kid, so my terror was raising a concern for my family. My mom would always ask if there was any way she could help me feel less scared. Finally, she decided I was scared because the house was so empty, as my dad had passed away and my sisters had moved out and gone to college. For my birthday that next year, my mom got me a cat. She was lively and affectionate. I loved her then and still do now. Having her around made me feel like I wasn't all by myself. There were times when I was scared and she would lay with me. Sometimes she would yowl and hiss at places where Bella had frequently been, though. This, of course, terrified me and also worried my mom. This went on for a few years, and then we moved to a new place. The fear was gone. I had not heard my cat hiss in a few years now, and she seems to have retired from her protective duties. Moving from that house was the best experience of my life. The minute we settled in, I felt safe. Like whatever had followed me around there was gone now. I wonder if the new residents feel what I had felt there. Is there a feeling of dread when they walk into the dining room? Is it eerie to go down the hall when in the middle of the day? I've never reached out, but I hope they feel safe, as I never did in that house, and it terrified me. It terrified me for the better part of my life when I was left there alone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, obviously, after the dog died,
Yeah.
he still felt, like, terrified.
I wonder if it was, like, the dog that terrified him, and then after the dog died, it's the dog's spirit.
Maybe, or I'm thinking maybe he just had PTSD.
Yeah.
Because he was, like, quite a small child when this dog was terrorizing him, pretty much.
And then after he died, he's like,
he's
still fucking terrified.
Yeah, he still probably has PTSD about it, despite the fact that the dog, like, lots of situations with PTSD, you hallucinate things.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a PTSD
also,
situation.
didn't they say that his dad died around the same time?
It's a lot of trauma.
It's a lot of trauma for a small child.
Yeah.
And then his other favorite dog died.
Yeah. So they lost both of their dogs. He lost his dad, and it's all in that same house.
Yeah.
His sisters had gone off to college, so he was literally alone. So
Yeah.
I'm going to guess it was probably a PTSD situation with hallucinations. So which you can have, because he said he could hear the growling at night.
Yeah.
I would assume that he probably had visual and, what are they called? Audible.
Yeah.
Hallucinations. That's what I would guess it would be.
That or he had a demon dog.
Yeah, one or the other. But like the fact that nobody else had any situation like that, I would guess that it's probably trauma.
Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah. But still spooky. Like, I can't imagine what it's like to deal with trauma that intense of like hearing and seeing things that nobody else is hearing or seeing and having to live like that.
Yeah.
Like, even when he got the cat, that still didn't help the situation until they fully moved out of that house.
Yeah, it is crazy.
So,
Like, even, like, some mediums, like, they see some fucking scary shit.
yeah.
From what they say, anyway.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah. It's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, it's scary. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Also, a demon dog. Also,
Yeah.
what breed did they say it was?
A
Just
border
gangly-
collie.
Border collie.
Just like
Border
kind of a
collies can be
skinny
aggressive.
border collie.
If not trained properly.
Oh,
they
really?
Can be aggressive.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, this one didn't like him.
No. I
For
wonder if
sure.
the boy had like bad energy.
Yeah. I don't know. And then, like, yeah, I don't know. Because lots of people say, like, if they believe in that type of thing, that, like, animals and children, like, know.
They sense it.
They, like, sense things
Yeah.
more. So, yeah, I don't know.
Very weird. Okay. I
Is this one creepy?
Yeah, I liked this
Oh,
one.
boy.
So it
Okay.
says something crept into my husband's side of the bed.
Oh, no.
This one's weird.
Am I going to be able to sleep tonight?
Dunno. I'm not sure what to believe anymore. I'm sure that I didn't imagine this, and I'm sure that what I heard, felt, really happened. So just a little backstory. My husband and I just moved into a new house a few months ago in May. I'll refer to him as Mark. What a boring name.
His name's actually Mark.
Mark ended up getting a great job opportunity, so we packed up our things and headed west. Things were going great, actually. Everything was absolutely normal. We didn't move into some ancient house with a dark past. We moved into a small single-family home in a freaking cul-de-sac. It's funny when people say freaking. Freaking cul-de-sac. Mark went to work. He had a good 9-to-5 schedule, and I was able to do some work from home. He'll get home a little after 5:30. We'll have dinner, then we'll relax until we head to sleep. They'll do the hanky-panky. Once it's 10 p.m., I'm already extremely sleepy, so I usually lie in bed and flip through my phone for an hour. Then I usually fall right to sleep. My husband is a night owl. He has issues with sleeping, so he usually stays up late. I'm a pretty light sleeper, so whenever he finally decides to go to sleep, I usually wake up a moment and hear him go to bed. Mark always follows a routine before going to bed. He clicks off the TV in the living room, checks the locks, turns off the lights, goes into our bathroom to brush his teeth, slips into bed, then kisses me before finally drifting to sleep. We live a pretty mundane lifestyle until a month ago. Something happened to me. It was an average day. All I did was clean and go to the store to get groceries. Later on, I had prepared dinner for Mark.
This is the classic husband and housewife
He works
situation.
9 to 5.
Yeah.
Mark came home and we talked about his day. Wow, shocker. Everything was absolutely normal. The only thing that was that Mark complained that the juice I bought for him tasted funny. Mark didn't like the juice.
No.
It was around 10 p.m. Why did she add that into the story?
Maybe it's important later on.
Maybe.
It was around 10 p.m. when I started to feel exhausted, so I did my usual and fell asleep. I wasn't sure what time it was when I was suddenly awoken by the noise of heavy footsteps coming from the living room. Usually Mark is a bit quieter when coming to bed, but I brushed it off. Just like, fucking Mark.
He really was upset about the juice.
He was pissed. The heavy thuds approached the bedroom door, and I heard it slowly creak open. I hate that sound.
Me too. I don't know why they always include the slow creak.
The slow creak.
Ugh.
I was feeling a bit frustrated as he knew I was a light sleeper, but I tried my best to ignore it and try to fall back asleep. I heard the click from the light switch of our bathroom and the faucet squeak, followed by a light trickle of water. I don't know why I started to feel so damn uneasy. Usually Mark would wake up in the middle of the night and I'd fall right back asleep, but something felt off. The way our bedroom is set up from the entrance to our bedroom is a straight shot to a window. Our bed is on that wall, then on the left side is the door to the bathroom. My back was facing the bathroom, so with the light on, I saw on the wall Mark's shadow casted onto it. I would shit my pants. I'd shit my pants.
But it's Mark.
Yeah, but...
It's just
maybe.
his shadow. She's used to it.
Still, as I studied the shadow, perhaps it was lack of sleep or my eyes playing tricks on me, but it didn't actually look like Mark. Now my husband is average height and a bit wide. He fits the dad bod category. Good old Mark. The shadow I saw was tall and slender, with the arms seemingly longer, like they would have touched the ground. I didn't hear the sound of him brushing his teeth, just the slow trickling of the water and a deep and gurgled breathing. Ew. Echoing from the bathroom. I finally froze and thought to myself, maybe this wasn't my husband. The faucet slowly squeaked to a halt, the gurgled breathing still... I can't pronounce that word. Still happening from behind me. The light switch clicked off, then I heard the heavy thuds of its feet go towards our bed, towards me. I froze still and tried to keep my breath from shaking. I kept thinking to myself that I was just tired and maybe I'm overthinking things. My husband is just doing his usual and going to bed. I felt the comforter on my rise a bit.
Am I right a bit?
As a body slumped onto the bed. The weight of it caused the frame to creak and groan. Something much larger than my husband was creeping into bed with me. I could feel my body shift as whatever it was put what I assumed was its whole body onto the bed. I kept my eyes tight shut as I kept my breath slow and shallow, trying not to scream.
Oh, this is creepy.
It's creepy, eh? Trying not to alert this thing that I was awake. The thing's gruttle and gurgled breath was right, breaking and cackling from above, then suddenly felt something drop in front of me. I cracked my eyes open to see an extremely long, thin limb, with large rake-like fingers in front of me that bent and stretched over from behind me. It was red and glistened in the moonlight that peered through my window. It was as if whatever it was had no skin. My vision began to blur as tears formed in my eyes. Don't cry, don't fucking scream, I thought to myself over and over again. Where was my husband? Where the hell was Mark? Where the hell is Mark?
Where the hell are you, Mark?
Did this thing... I didn't want to finish that thought. I felt its weight begin to shift towards me. Again I heard that disgusting noise of breaking and cracking from behind me. Nausea started to overtake me, but I held my vomit in my stomach. Ew. The deep and wet gurgled breath inched its way closer to my face. I could feel a hot mist hit my skin. I heard it. I heard the sound of it opening its mouth wider and wider as droplets of its saliva descended over my head. This is gross. Something hot and wet began to slither onto my cheek. Oh, he wants a blowy. Mark wants a blowy. And when I began to fully sob, I slowly slid my eyes to the corner of my sockets and looked at it. It was red and fleshy. Ew. It had no eyes, just dark sockets. Its mouth was a black abyss that stretched open with rows of sharp teeth and a wiggling tongue.
Ew.
Yeah, that's gross. It sounds like venom.
It does kind of sound like venom. Besides the skin. No skin,
yeah.
red.
Because venom's black, right?
Yeah.
I stared at it for a moment and finally let out an ear-shattering scream that echoed throughout my home. I shouted at the top of my lungs, "Mark!" But there was no answer. I wanted to get up. I wanted so desperately to run out of that fucking room, but I was frozen in absolute fear. I fully realized how immense this thing was, with its limbs stretched over me like some kind of giant skinless spider.
Ew.
That's an image. My scream was cut short when I heard its breathing, turned into a deep and low laugh. The way I would yeet myself out that window.
Oh my god.
I reveled in my despair and my helplessness, and I didn't know what else to do. I had nothing else to do but accept whatever it had in store for me. I looked at me. I think she meant it looked at me.
Yeah.
And it fucking smiled. A wide razor-toothed smile. My heart was beating like crazy, like it was trying to burst out of my chest, and I fell unconscious. I don't know what else happened, but I passed out. I woke up the next morning. I was completely drenched in sweat, and I'm embarrassed to say that my bed was completely soaked in my urine. I slowly got out of bed. I felt so sick, so horrible. I crept over to my living room. Each of my footsteps echoed like thunder in my skull. I turned the corner, and on the couch, sleeping so peacefully, was my husband, Mark. My knees gave out, and I collapsed onto the floor. Mark shot right up and looked over to see the state that I was in a cold sweat, but I didn't want anything else but for him to just hold me, reassure me that I was safe and that this was real. A few hours later, I had told him my dream, and he was completely disturbed, to say the least. Well, anyone would be.
Yeah.
He was worried, so he took me to the doctor's office. After a short wait, I was finally let in to see my doctor. I avoided telling him about my dream, but I did tell him how sick I was feeling. He ran a few tests. I was so anxious, but Mark held my hand the entire time.
Why wouldn't you tell him about the dream? The dream is what caused the sickness.
That's the thing. But also, apparently, she went to the doctor because she felt sick. But, like, you were kind of sick because of this fucking crazy dream you had.
Yeah.
The results came back, and I was in complete shock. I was listening to the doctor talk, and Mark, I looked at him, and he was smiling from ear to ear. Everything sounded like muffled white noise, but the one thing the doctor said hit me. I'm pregnant. Maybe she just had a crazy pregnancy dream.
Maybe.
Mark carefully lifted me up and embraced me as the doctor patted his shoulder in congratulations. The whole car ride, Mark went on and on about baby stuff, and I just didn't know what to say. So here's the thing. I never told Mark. I never told him because I was afraid that he would be disappointed and leave me. I cannot have children. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I know I cannot have children. Now, a month later, and I'm so afraid to go to sleep, I stay up with Mark until he finally goes to bed, no matter what. He's so excited about the baby, but I don't know what the hell is inside me. A few days ago, while Mark was at work, I went to the doctor's to get an ultrasound. Needless to say, I was shocked when the doctor said everything was normal, but when he turned away, I looked at the damn screen and saw whatever the thing inside me. For a split second, I saw its limbs stretch and grow.
She's losing it.
Yeah.
She's not all there.
She's not all there.
No, she's losing it. And I bet it's because she's been a housewife for as long as she has.
She hasn't left the walls of her
This
house.
is a bad dream that she's had, and now she's fucking
Someone just
it.
commented, "Congratulations, I shall never go to bed before my husband again."
That's literally what I was saying. I'm like, well, I'm never fucking going to bed before Judah goes to bed.
By the way, congratulations on being pregnant.
Is there like an update?
No.
It's literally just a story.
It's literally just a story. Also, that was posted 3 hours ago.
Cool. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I might be sleeping in your room tonight.
Someone's gonna come in and fuck you.
It makes no sense. This story.
It doesn't make any sense.
Guaranteed she had a terrifying dream. I don't get the whole pregnancy situation.
I know that when you're pregnant, you have crazy dreams.
Crazy fucking dreams. But it doesn't really explain why she wasn't able to have kids and now she can.
Yeah, I don't know.
As Christians, we call that a miracle.
That's a goddamn miracle.
But
she said Satan.
Also, why would there be like a split second that the limbs would be expanding? But then you wouldn't...
I think she did like a double take.
Yeah.
She's like, for a split second, I swore I thought I saw this.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say, honey, you didn't see it. I think you're just, like, terrified, which one would be after a horrifying dream like that.
I still don't know why that she put in the comment about Mark's juice.
I don't know
That was
either.
irrelevant to the story.
I don't know either, unless that's what Mark turns into when he doesn't have great juice. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was Mark trying to spice things up with their sex life.
Maybe, but that was close to rape. She was in there crying.
She woke up covered in her own sweat and urine.
Yeah.
This poor woman.
So, obviously traumatized.
Yeah. Maybe somebody spiked the juice and she had some too. And that's why Mark passed out on the couch and she ended up with the horrifying dream. She just had like a bad reaction to the juice.
Maybe. Or an intruder.
I don't think it was an intruder.
Because
then Mark definitely would have heard it. If he heard her collapse to the floor when she first woke up, he definitely would have heard.
Maybe Mark passed out on the couch hours before.
Because of the juice.
Because of the juice.
Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows? That's a sus story.
Yeah.
Definitely creepy.
Definitely fucking creepy. I'm sitting over here literally like breath shaking because I'm terrified.
Definitely
She
creepy.
woke up in her own sweat and urine. I'm like, I'm about to pee my pants right now.
I'm about to pee my pants.
That was horrifying.
It was creepy,
Why
right?
did you read that one? I'm literally not going to be able to sleep tonight. Oh my god.
Because I feel like the way she like worded it, you could just
this lady sounds like a storyteller. Also, what woman these days doesn't work? I'm just
period.
like, you're gonna tell me that your husband works a 9 to 5 and there's nothing wrong with you, but
Very
you're not
true.
working?
He could be loaded though. Maybe she shouldn't want to work. Maybe all she does is cook him food and get him his juice.
Maybe.
He's a big toddler.
I don't know. She said they live pretty mundane lives. Maybe he just was like,
That's
listen,
so boring. I'd
yeah,
rather
let's
off
spice
myself.
this up a little bit. I'll terrify my wife.
And make her piss the bed. That'll stir things up.
That's a bit too far, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe she just had a wild pregnancy dream.
Maybe.
Because I've heard those happen.
They do happen.
Yeah, everybody who's been pregnant so far.
Some people dream before that they even know that they're pregnant, that they're having
that
like
they're
a boy
having a baby.
or like a girl, and then
Or just having a baby in general before they know that they're pregnant.
yeah. It's because you're so
sometimes I
in tune
have
with your
dreams like
body.
that and then I'm terrified that I'm actually pregnant.
Oh, gotta yeet myself down the stairs.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm like, no, that doesn't happen to everybody. Like,
I'm not ready for a baby.
yeah. That's fucking weird.
Yeah, that's creepy. That
Oh,
one.
I've got the heebie-jeebies after that one.
I quite liked it.
I didn't. I don't know how you like those things.
There was a book that I used to read
When I was younger, I had like a skull on the front, and it was like Stories in the Dark or something like that. I read it for fun.
I'm literally like about to call Judah to be like, can you come and stay with me, please? Because I'm horrified
You're not
now.
gonna sleep tonight.
Like, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna sleep tonight. We'll see.
That scared you?
That terrified me.
Oh my god! You
And
can never
it's-
watch a horror film.
No, I
Like
can't.
a good one.
Never. It terrifies me. It just freaks me out so much. Like,
I watched a scary film last night.
of course you did. Literally, I'm like one of those people that like, okay, I've watched something scary. Now I'm going to fucking watch something happy to get
Yeah.
my mind off of it.
Oh.
And
you're one
then
of those.
and then even then I'm still like, oh, I need to stop fucking thinking about this because I'm not going to be able to sleep.
I love horror films.
Oh, I hate it. Literally, I'm sitting here like watching the shadows outside being like, oh fuck. We're about to die.
He's gonna make me pee the bed.
Yeah. Impregnate me.
He's gonna impregnate
That's
me.
horrifying though. Like if you think you're pregnant with a fucking devil child.
The way she was describing it just sounds like Slender Man.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I mean, I don't know what Slenderman's face looks like.
Does he have a face? I thought he didn't have one.
Maybe it doesn't.
He had like sharp teeth.
True. Oh, I didn't watch
for a
that
hot,
movie
for
either.
a hot minute when I was a kid, I thought he was real.
I did not. I don't think anything's real. Why? Because if I think too much about it, then it terrifies me. And I'm not going to do that.
And then I spiral.
Like, I'm already beginning to spiral, so we'll leave it at that.
Well, you think someone's going to come impregnate you tonight, so...
Let's not talk about it.
You're putting a chair up against your door.
I'm honestly, maybe. Every night, like, I've been super paranoid lately because I've been sleeping with my window open.
And the door open.
Yeah,
I could never sleep
because
with the door open.
I need the AC. Otherwise, I'm overheating.
Don't you have the fan in the bedroom?
Yeah, and it's still fucking hot.
Really?
Yeah, so I've been sleeping with the window open, the AC on end with the fucking fan to try and cool myself down. And then I'm so terrified that somebody's going to come and cut through the screen and try and come into my room.
Yeah, that's scary.
So...
Because we're on ground level.
Yeah, we need to stop saying that.
We're not on ground level.
People are we're gonna find
We live
out.
on the 12th floor.
There's not even a 12th floor here. I work as a hotel night guard and I have to follow some weird rules. Come and apply at Mary Hotel. We pay you $150 a week. I looked at the advertisement and thought about it. I didn't have much money, so I quickly applied, and after a few days I received a phone call saying I was hired. No interview, I guess. I immediately went to the hotel, and a man was sitting on the couch in the lobby and looked at me and greeted me warmly. Hey there, welcome. I hope you work well.
Ew.
He then showed me around the hotel and gave me a guard uniform. I went to change, and the man was gone. I knew what I had to do, so I went to the security room. When I entered there were a few surveillance monitors and a paper next to a phone. I looked at the paper, and on the paper was the set of rules. Number 1, do not look at cam 5 at 9 p.m. 2, at 10:10 p.m. conduct a patrol around the hotel. If you see a man in the hotel wearing a suit, he will smile at you and ask where you are going to. Do not answer him, just ignore him and continue your patrol until 10:50. Number 3, once it turns 11:50, your phone will ring, but do not answer it. Number 4, by 12 a.m. you will hear knocking on your door. Just ignore it and continue your shift. Number 5, at 1:30 you will have to conduct another patrol, but you will only have to patrol the basement. Once you reach the basement, do not look at the old rusted mirror on your left. If you hear growling, quickly boot out of the basement and close the door behind you. After that, lock it and head to the security office. If you do not hear growling in the basement, you may leave after 20 seconds, but remember to lock the door.
I don't like this.
Number 6, if you hear dripping noises at any point in time, do not even look behind you until it stops. Number 7, during 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. you will start to feel sleepy, but you must not fall asleep as you will be dead if you sleep.
Oh.
Number 8, at 5 a.m. those, quote, creatures will try to kill you, and they do not want you out of here alive. So the power source will be cut out only to your office, and once that happens, crawl under your desk and close your eyes. You might hear your door opening, even if it's been locked. Just keep your eyes closed. Do not open your eyes, and by 6 a.m. your shift is over and an alarm will ring, signaling that it is safe for you to open your eyes and head back home. Anyway, thank you for working at Mary Hotel, and we hope you enjoy.
The way I would not. Ew.
I wouldn't even get past the first few rules, and I'd be like, I'm out of here. There is no way in heck, because you best believe I'm not going to remember all these rules, and I'm going to end up dead.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I laughed thinking that it was a joke, so I looked at the clock and it said 9 p.m. So guess what? I looked at camera 5, but that decision would make me regret looking at the monitor. What I saw was red eyes in the dark staring at the cam as if it knew I was looking at it.
Ew.
I quickly looked away and sat down on the chair. Fuck, I said to myself as I just had broken a rule. But I just waited until 10:10 p.m. to conduct my patrol. When the clock strikes 10:10, I took my flashlight and exited the office. At the couch was a man in a red suit. I ignored him, but just as I walked past, I froze as he said, "Where are you going, young man?" I ignored the man and finished my patrol. When it reached 10:50, After 10:50 p.m., after that, I sat back on my chair and thought to myself, why the fuck did I apply here? Same. By 10:50, my phone rang and I jumped up, but just ignored it until the ringing stopped. When it was 12, my door started knocking, which made me made me freeze for 20 seconds. Sorry, the grammar in this isn't great. Freeze for 20 seconds and then ignoring it until the knocking stopped. Once the knocking stopped, I heaved a sigh of relief. After that, I waited until 1:30, where I left the office and entered the basement. So I'm trying to find my spot. I turned on my flashlight, but I could barely illuminate the dark area. Oh, I'm missing part of it. Okay, so basically he went down to the basement. I can't find this part. Basically, he went down to the basement, did his patrol of the basement. When he started to come back up, he heard the growling. His fight or flight kicked in, and I ran. But just as I turned left, I saw a little bit of the rusted mirror. All I could see was me, but hanged.
Oh.
I didn't care about the mirror, and I just ran once I was out of the basement. I slammed the door shut and locked it, running away from the basement door to the security office, where I entered, and I felt a sense of relief as I sat down, but remembered that I had to be in the basement for 20 seconds or more. Plus, I looked at the mirror, which left me paralyzed with fear, and I just stared at Cam 6 and felt even more fear when the dripping started behind me. I looked at the clock, and it showed 1:59, and so I waited. When it reached 3 a.m., the dripping noises stopped. So for an hour, the dripping continued. I also felt very sleepy, but I tried to stay awake until 4, which failed, so I laid my head down, and just as I started dozing off, something whispered in my ear, which made me jump. I looked at the clock. It was 4:59. As soon as the clock hit 5, I quickly crawled under my desk to close my eyes, falling asleep until the alarm woke me up. It was 6 a.m., and I changed back to my normal clothes. Once I changed... This is really awful writing. Back to my normal clothes. I left the area and headed back home, and I reached home and sat down on the couch and kind of thought it would be a fun experience until my bedroom door creaked open. That's the end of it.
Ew.
Then somebody commented, I don't want to sound stupid, but this is just a story, isn't it? Yep, it's just a story. So this guy just wrote a story about it.
There's no way that'd be real because, like, that's also, like, an ethics thing.
Yeah, nobody would hire somebody to work. Like, you just shut that place down if it was like that.
If you're telling people don't turn around because you're going to die at a certain hour.
Also, you get paid $150 per week for that.
No.
I'd be like, fuck no. I don't even know if there's any amount of money that you could pay me.
Yeah, I'd say that I'd do that for a certain amount of money.
Oh no.
If you follow the rules.
Yeah, but like what if I misstep or something?
Then you don't get the money.
Yeah, then I'm dying.
Yeah.
Like that's my options.
Well,
so
he missed a rule and he didn't die. But he also got followed home.
Yeah. So it's a hard pass for me. Thankfully it is just a story.
Yeah. It's a good story.
Somebody commented. This is a story, right?
This is just a story, right? I need to sleep tonight.
Yeah. And that was on, I mean, that one was from...
Come here.
Oh, where is it now?
Come on up.
r/creepy stories.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Come on up.
Yeah, it was an actual creepy story. And the first one was from r/spooky stories, but I believe the first one was real. About the kid with, I'm pretty sure the kid just has PTSD. And then the second story was from creepy stories, so anybody can write.
It's quite good, though.
Pretty good, just the grammar and spelling and run-on sentences. Like, maybe get somebody to check your work before you decide to post it.
Maybe get an editor.
Yeah, that'd be great. Because, pretty rough. Do you have another one?
I do, but it's not great.
I mean, is it gonna scare me?
I don't think so.
Then read it. If it's gonna scare me, I don't.
It's a short one anyway.
Okay.
I was driving across country. Across country? Stop.
I guess.
With my mom and sister. I was 16, my sister was 20, my mom in her 50s. It was late, but we were well rested, still and alert. We were driving along an interstate and needed gas, and they needed to pee, so we stopped at this only rest stop in 200 miles. There was a van full of teenagers on some road trip and a small gray compact car, like a Honda Accord or some shit, parked at the pump in front of us. 2 men about 17 to 20 were standing outside the Honda in hoodies, statue fucking still. He's very making it clear what's going on.
Yeah.
The teenagers were on our left. When we got there, everything felt wrong. There was a deep and unsettling feeling about the place, and we'd not felt that way at any other rest stop. We'd been on the road for days and seen many rest stops at night and had never been afraid until then. My mom and sister went inside and I stayed in the car. I heard the teenagers say they were creeped out and couldn't get the pump to work, so they left in a hurry. I was mostly watching the car in front and the 2 men who had still not moved at all, not an inch. They weren't talking, they weren't on phones, there was no light anywhere but the dim overhead lights on the gas station awning. They were just fucking standing there, still as stone. My sister and mom came running back out to the car, and as they got in, the 2 men slowly turned to look at us, while not moving or pivoting the rest of their bodies. And I swear to fucking shit, we all saw the same thing. They had eyes dark as pitch and empty, truly empty. Not black. Sorry, I'm just trying to find my spot.
Yeah.
Not black, not reflecting any light at all, just a fucking void. We booked it. We have not traveled in excess of 100 miles per hour before or since, but fuck. That day, it was warranted. He's got weird words in here. We drove until we were in the next city before we got out of the car again, and why don't they spell check?
I don't know. I don't know why they don't have somebody to proofread.
And know the worst fucking thing about it? Not the eyes, not the stillness, not that horrible feeling, not the weirdo in the gas station. That kept telling my mom and sister, my mama will like you, over and over while mopping the same spot on the floor with a dry mop and an empty bucket. It was the fact that we couldn't find the place on any map. We knew exactly which spot on the interstate to look, and we couldn't fucking find it on Google Maps or any paper map we had. We even asked the locals about the gas station on the stretch of the road, and they gave us confused looks and asked, "Are you sure you weren't traveling on blank highway and not interstate?" Okay. We traveled on that interstate since, and there was no rest stop.
Oh. That's weird.
That is weird. It's not scary.
Yeah, just weird.
Just weird. Creepy.
Maybe it was extraterrestrials.
Demi Lovato.
Maybe ETs, because we can't call them aliens anymore, apparently.
No.
Maybe ETs came to Earth and they were like, you know what the best way for us to blend in with humans?
Gas stop.
Gas stop. We'll just put a gas stop here, and then maybe they saw a movie or something where somebody's like, oh, my mama will like you. So they just repeated that, and that's the only English they know.
So my mom will like you.
Yeah.
That, or it sounds like, you haven't seen it. It's a movie called The Hills of Eyes.
Definitely not, because I know it's a scary movie.
The opening scene is them at a gas station, and that sounds like the exact gas station.
Oh, well, there you go. Does that happen in it?
Well, they don't say my mama will like you.
Yeah.
There is another scene where this guy is yelling and he goes, "Daddy."
Ew. I hate that.
Yeah. And he ends up killing him.
Okay.
Because it's a scary film.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that gas stop. Just creepy.
Okay. Well, I think it's extraterrestrials. That's what I'm going to say.
I'm putting my money on E.T.
On E.T.
And I'm sure Demi would
They are
Yeah.
probably there singing.
Yeah.
Skyscraper.
Or they said that extraterrestrials like skyscrapers. So
Oh, so fucking funny. Good for them. Good for them. I'm glad that they like that song.
the E.T. or
E.T.
oh,
Yeah, I'm glad for
Okay.
Demi that they've reached that demographic.
that they've reached that far
Yeah.
into the universe.
In the depths of the universe. They're like, you know what?
Oh,
E.T.
wow.
Hello?
Who's that?
Oh,
it
my
your mom?
mom's coming over to drop off Stevie's leash
Right now.
in a bit.
Oh. Well, that's our spooky stories. Do you have any like personal ones that you want to share?
I shared the one about the comforter, which I wanted to share.
Yeah.
I don't have any other ones that I can think of right now.
I haven't really had any other situations. I had one situation where it was when my grandma and I were the only two living in our old house, and there was like a loud bang in like the middle of the night that woke us both up. And I came down the stairs because I live with my older grandmother. Like,
Yeah.
she's not super old, but like you still worry that something's happened. So I like came down the stairs, and it was like a crash. Like, it was like a loud bang. And my grandma was already up because her bedroom's on the main floor, and I was upstairs. So I had to come downstairs, and she just walked into the next room pretty much where the crash happened. And a glass angel that we
you told me
had
about
sitting on
this.
top of our hutch had fallen
Yeah.
to the ground. And it was on the ground, not a fucking crack
Yeah.
in this angel. Literally, the angel was completely fine. It was an angel my grandma had had for years. So, like, obviously we didn't want anything to happen for it. It's like a family heirloom type thing. And it was perfectly fine. And there was, like, a loud crash. Like, it was like, I don't know how it wasn't broken.
That's so weird.
But then that's what, like, we call, like, God moments.
Yeah.
Like, it's a thing that happened where it should have been broken, but it wasn't. So I don't know if there was anything. Like, there's no way something caught it before it hit the ground because we heard the crash.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah, but it was in completely fine shape.
I've had stuff like that happen to me. Also, weirdly enough, like, we used to have these things called angel coins around my house.
Yeah.
Like, it says on the thing that says, like, a guardian angel is watching
I've had
over
them
you.
too, yeah.
So, my mom had, like, a bowl of them in the kitchen, I think, or something.
Yeah.
She had, like, 5 or 6 in a dish. And I was sitting on the toilet, just peeing. But I swear to God, literally one just fell from the ceiling. Because, like, it fell right in front of me.
Yeah.
But you know the bathroom upstairs where, like, there's just a shower in front of the toilet?
Yeah.
So there's no ledge anything, right?
Yeah.
And it just fell from in front of me. And that was spooky.
Yeah.
And then my mom was just like, oh, well, it's just grandma saying that she's watching over you.
Yeah.
Like a little reminder.
Yeah.
And, like, I picked up that one and I've kept it ever since.
Yeah. We also, a friend of ours passed away like a few years ago now. And on the anniversary of his death, I was in the kitchen and Annie was in the living room, which are like pretty much the same room. And the windows were open. It was in May.
Yeah.
The windows were open and a trombone started playing.
Yeah.
And we both heard the trombone and we were like, holy fuck.
It was
Because
just weird.
he played trombone in music
Yeah.
class in high school. And we had not heard a trombone.
I haven't since.
Yeah, we didn't hear one beforehand and we haven't heard one since, but like somebody nearby or
Yeah.
in the building played a trombone super loudly on the day of his death.
It was really weird.
It was really weird, but it also just made me feel really good. Like, it made me feel like he was there.
Yeah.
So those are like the few, but those don't scare me. Like, those are like
if anything,
good
it's
experience.
like a comforting thing.
Yeah. Like, those are, like, good experiences to me.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've necessarily had any bad ones. I've had scary ones.
Yeah.
But nothing, like, bad or, you know.
And, like, I don't fuck with Ouija boards or anything like
I've never
that.
touched one and I never will.
Yeah.
Those terrify me. I don't know why people fuck with them.
Yeah, me neither.
We've also been told not to fuck with them, so don't.
Yeah, I don't know why people think it's okay to do that. But yeah, that's our spooky stories for today. Hope you guys liked it.
Yeah.
Want to do something a little bit festive but a little bit different. This is our first Halloween with the pod, so
I love Halloween.
freaking bats. I saved
Freaking
one
bats.
to post.
Freaking bats.
So yeah, hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys got like a little bit of a spook. But hopefully it wasn't too bad. I think we picked relatively okay ones.
Yeah, they weren't terribly
Yeah.
scary. They were just ooh.
Yeah. So hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. You know what to do. Okay?
We've said this before.
We're Hi Friends Pod pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram at Hi Friends Pod. Follow me on Instagram at itsmeshay.xx. Follow Annie.
Mine's Annie X Muir.
And hope you
Ta-da.
guys enjoy the podcast.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Is next week
next week?
Christmas?
No?
I mean,
What?
because it's November.
No, next week is, we have one more week. Remember, we have to wait till after Remembrance Day.
No, but essentially, it's
into the Christmas time.
into the Christmas
We're
time.
getting into the festive season.
We're getting there.
And you best believe I come out to shine
Very much. Bublé's on.
for like a month and a half.
Mr. Bubble.
Oh, I'm hype. Get ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready too. Oh my gosh. All right, friends. We'll see you next week.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Down, yeah. I've been feeling so down, yeah. Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why?